Well, folks, just 2 weeks left in the NFL season. Of course, we're talking about playoffs. This week, conference championship Sunday, final four teams left in the league. We will discuss last week's divisional round matchups, plus quick previews and predictions of this week's championship Sunday. Also, we will discuss, at least briefly, the head coaching movings about the NFL. There have been 10 coaches have been fired from their posts last year. Five of them have already been filled. We will discuss that as well. It's the Terranadome, and it starts right now. The first interception led to a field goal, and the second one led to a touchdown. You lost by 3. That's why you don't turn the ball over. We see it every week from multiple teams. It happens all the time, Patriots. Yeah, Pats +8, Pats money line. Book it, baby. Buffalo's going down. No. That's right. That's right. That's right. Respect the flying Elvis. Buffalo's going down. Denver money line. I like Denver money line too. I think this is the week for Philly. Denver is better than that 2-2 record for sure. It is. That's gonna be a low-scoring game over there in Philly. I think I would hammer the under on that game too.
Known as fair square throughout my years, so I growl at the living foul. Black to the bone, my home is your home.
Well, welcome to Terranadome. Terranadome, and it starts right now. And welcome back into the show, folks. My tank is running on empty at this point. We've got just 3 shows left for football season. And then, the 2 weeks leading into the Super Bowl is always fun because you have to try and figure out how to do previews for 2 weeks. So there will be some other items that we've been ignoring, frankly, for their entire seasons, and we'll start catching up with next week. But first of all, Josh is back on the show. Josh Morris, he's back. Say hello. He keeps adding more items to his background every week. And it's certainly,
just to keep everyone guessing, what's he going to add next week,
Yep, that's what the people are asking. No doubt about it.
That's the guy that changes his car mid-show. Relax over there.
It's my show, and I will do what I please. So, yeah. Changed the hat this week. New shirt debuting as well. So I'm surprised you haven't asked me about this hat because nobody should know about it yet because this hat hasn't been worn on the field yet by the United States World Baseball Classic team coming up in March. So, yeah, how's everything with you?
Well, it sounds like one of my kids just ate stuff outside, so...
Oh, they fall on their face? You want to check?
It's what it just sounded like. It sounded like someone took a dump. So
you want to check on that, and I'll just do the show until you get back.
No, there's no crying, so I think we're good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, walk it off. They're young. They can, they'll just walk it off. They don't know anything. They don't know what pain is yet.
No.
So we had some games last week. We had your final 8 teams in action for the divisional playoff round. Some people would argue that's the best round of the playoffs each year. I don't know that was the case this year. But there were 2 overtime games. The first one, we bookended with 2 overtime games and a bunch of sloppy puke in the middle. So I guess we will start. We'll do it in chronological order. So first off's up on Saturday at 4:30 p.m. It was the 6th seed Buffalo Bills. And a lot of us thought that the Buffalo Bills would go into Denver and beat the 1 seed Denver Broncos, but they did not, and they really only have themselves to blame for it. And in overtime, 33-30, Denver beats Buffalo, largely in part because, Buffalo turned it over 5 times in this game, and Josh Allen had 4 of those turnovers. So Mr. Superman himself, that everybody's anointed as the next greatest quarterback of all time, he's now 0-7 in his last, you know what I mean? He's last, whatever. Owen, I don't know how to he's never reached the Super Bowl. Buffalo had their window. 0-7 in, I don't know, his last elimination games or his playoff games, whatever. 2 AFC Championship games, 4 divisional round exits, and a wild card round exit in the last 7 years. Supposed to be the best thing since sliced bread or warm butter since. This guy is, he's got some choke in him.
I mean, I won't defend him because he didn't play very well. I will say that last interception, like it was third and long. It was almost like a punt, but the fumbles were egregious. The fumbles were really bad, especially the one at halftime. That was just a backbreaker. You gave them a free 3 points because he fumbled it, what, 12 yards backwards? Like, that's just kind of awareness, especially for a guy that's been in the league, what, 8, 9 years now. You can't fumble that ball in that situation. You just can't. And other than that, he's mind-boggling because he'll have 4 turnovers, but he'll still play a good game. You know what I mean? Like he still led them down the field. He still scored. They scored 30 points with 4 turnovers. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
I'm not impressed by the Buffalo Bills, continually underachieving. Here is the Bills. Here's how each Bills drive ended in this game. You ready for this? Touchdown to open the game. That's very impressive. Fumble, field goal, fumble. By the way, these fumbles are lost fumbles. Touchdown, fumble, field goal, fumble, fumble, touchdown, interception, touchdown, field goal, interception. And when we get to the Texans in the 2 games from now, it's way worse than that. But just too much. You can't shoot yourself in the foot that many times and still be able to walk. They still had a chance to win this game in overtime. Or whatever. Go ahead, get a touchdown, whatever.
I actually, if I remember correctly, Josh Allen in regulation left the field with a lead. And then oh, no, they tied it at the end of regulation.
Yeah, well, yeah, or there would have been overtime and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Of course, after the game, Buffalo then finally fires Sean McDermott, which we had hinted at on this show before. Probably a few years too late on that one because this year he kind of actually looked good. Because that roster was not very good. And
yeah, and they had a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the ball too.
But yeah, it's the coach's fault that the quarterback turned the ball over 4 times. His fault. So you got that going on. So McDermott's out after what, 9 years in Buffalo and 7 straight 10-win seasons, and they got back to the playoffs for the first time in how long with him? Like he was the coach that broke the drought, which was a long one. I don't remember how long, but it was pretty long. I remember at the time I was working in Springfield and there was a Buffalo fan that was an anchor like on the weekends. He was all excited about it. He kept talking about his Buffalo Bills, and I'm like, go back to Buffalo. But yeah, so mind-boggling stuff. And then of course, my conspiracy theories about things being fixed or rigged, if you will. Magically, Bo Nix's ankle was somehow broken in the second to last play of this game, supposedly on the other side for the Broncos. And even though he showed no visible signs of it whatsoever, even did an on-field interview after the game, 20 minutes after the game ends and you're starting to watch Seahawks 49ers, you get a notification from Schefter on your phone that says, oh, by the way, Sean Payton says Bo Nix broke his ankle. He's out for the rest of the season. Huh?
Yeah, that was probably the most confusing tweet I've ever seen. I was like, I just watched this guy finish the game. He, threw a couple passes, got some PIs, they kick a field goal. Like, when did he break it?
They said, I think they said the second to last play of regulation or something. I didn't see anything. So yeah, they had 7 minutes left in overtime when they got it back after that last interception, that controversial Brandon Cooks play. They had 6 plays and a defensive pass interference later. So it's not like, oh, maybe he sucked it up and finished the game. I don't know, but either way, the Broncos, Knicks supposedly had surgery a few days ago, and Jarrett Stidham, 4th round pick of the New England Patriots in 2020. No, 2019 because Brady was.
I was going to say Brady was still there.
2019, almost won a game during the COVID year in Kansas City, but he is the starting quarterback for the Broncos in the AFC Championship game. And Josh, wouldn't you know it, his wife's father happens to be a big time higher up with one of the biggest sports entertainment companies on the planet that has ties to multiple professional teams in multiple leagues. Go figure. So, I don't know. a Cinderella story and a weird little setup is a brewing here. I gotta tell you, I hope more and more people keep picking the Broncos to beat the Patriots with a backup quarterback, because that's actually a good omen. Kind of like when the whole ESPN NFL Live crew picked the Houston Texans to beat the Patriots last week like idiots, and they all realized it at the same time, and they were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe we did that." What do you mean? What do you mean? None of y'all picked New England. Blah, 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 blah. Orlovsky was just like, "Blah." Mina Kimes, she was like, "Oh, way down here, Anna." And it was ridiculous. Keep picking the Broncos. It's a good omen. But I gotta tell you, considering how not nervous I was when the news came out, and I was like, well, as long as the Pats win tomorrow, they'll be in the big game, the big dance, the big game. Now a little nervous about this one coming up on Sunday. Oh yeah, I'm burying the lead. The Patriots beat the Texans on the following day. We'll get to that in a minute. Do you think that Denver can beat their next opponent with a backup quarterback at home with a pretty good defense? Two of their starting wide receivers may be out, Troy Franklin and Mims. When have I heard that? I thought I heard that on the radio earlier this week that two of their receivers.
Yeah, I haven't heard any injury reports come out yet, so
that's awful.
I think they can. I mean, it's playoff football. As the great Chris Berman would say, that's why they play the game, right? Like, you really don't know. I mean, it could go either way. They do have a good defense. Drake May hasn't looked exceptional in the last 2 weeks.
I'm gonna get to that.
If they can get after him, if they can focus on Will Campbell and attack, because I think that's the weakest part of your line right now. I think they got a chance.
Sure, they got a chance. Good team. Sean Payton wins this game and goes to, even if they don't win in the Super Bowl, if Sean Payton can get this kid who hasn't played a meaningful football game in over 700 days. Hasn't even taken a snap. Well, he has taken a snap. He hasn't thrown a pass in 2+ years' time.
Really?
In a game. That is correct. Yeah.
I mean, he did light up my 49ers the year they went to the Super Bowl and they had the number one defense in the NFL. So, the guy can sling it a little.
Sure he can. We'll see. He was a turnover machine in his limited opportunities with the Patriots. So we'll see. I have a feeling they're going to need to create a few turnovers if they're going to successfully get back to the Super Bowl and beat this Broncos team. Because, by the way, and I'm burying the lead, and we might as well just go to the friggin' Patriots game now instead, since there's really nothing to talk about with the 49ers Seahawks. But, yeah, they've never won a playoff game in Denver. Brady never did it. They're 0-4 in Denver in the playoffs. So I've been saying this, if Drake May pulls that off, Drake May, like it's not the whole team, but if they pull that off and Drake May is younger than Tom Brady ever was when he started a game for this team, incredible accomplishment just to get there. We'll see. You know what? I'm supposed to do this in chronological order, but since I've already mentioned like 10 times that the Patriots are playing the Broncos on Sunday, let's go fast forward to last Sunday, where the 5-seed Houston Texans came into this game with their number one defense, even though it was technically number 2 by the end of the season, and their vaunted number 1 defense, and they played the 2-seed New England Patriots in the snow. It turns out it'll be 2 Sundays in a row with significant snow. Well, last week was nothing apparently compared to this week. We'll see. Maybe, probably, but maybe not. I don't know. They still get these things wrong a lot. That's all right. I'm banking out of it. But Patriots do just enough, and I mean just enough, and I'll demonstrate that in numbers not too long from now. And certainly the Houston quarterback, I'm not sure Dan Orlovsky was, whether he was right or not, was exaggerating, not exaggerating, but I'm not sure legitimately 31 other teams that 31 other quarterbacks could have beaten the Patriots in this game. Isolated. Certainly a lot of them could have, right? Probably if they're all healthy. Like I don't know. I don't think that third string kid from Kansas City was going to walk in there and win this game. I don't think that Geno Smith would have walked in there and won this game despite the week one stuff, but not the same circumstances. Plus, the Raiders are never going to go to the playoffs again. Whatever, 28-16 Pats. This was a game really through three quarters, despite the fact that CJ Stroud is horrible. The former number 2 pick in the 2023 draft out of Ohio State is miserable. Maybe the worst quarterback in the league that's starting. I'm not even kidding. At this point, to Orlovsky's point, 4 first-half interceptions for CJ Stroud. Certainly the conditions didn't help because both teams had issues holding on to the football. But these are just the first half drives for the Houston Texans in this game that the Patriots won 28-16. This is just the first half. The Texans go 3-and-out opening kick. They get a field goal. And then Stroud's first interception. They score a touchdown. So they've got 10 points at this point. They were actually leading this game. But then it goes interception, 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 punt, interception, punt. Sorry, 5 first half interceptions for CJ Stroud. He could have had about 8. In the second half, they dropped a few more. There could have been more. Pats made big plays when they needed them on offense, but they were otherwise shut down. So they're 3 touchdown drives. Patriots scored 3 touchdown drives on offense. They got a pick 6 from Marcus Jones. 6 plays, 66 yards, 5 plays, 56 yards, and 6 plays for 71 yards. All of their other drives combined. Check this out. All other drives combined for the Patriots in this game. 47 plays, 72 yards, 8 punts, 2 fumbles lost, an interception, and the kneel down to end the game. 47 plays for 72 yards. They got bottled up. They put together a few drives when they needed them. One ridiculous Kayshon Boutte catch kind of sealed it. Not a statement. And by the way, to Josh's point, when we were talking about the Buffalo game, Drake May still having issues holding onto the ball too long in the pocket. That needs to be cleaned up. So, sloppy, couple of wins. Easy road.
He has 6 fumbles, right? This postseason?
I believe it's
2 against the Chargers and 4 against...
He had 3 again. He had 3 in each, and he lost 2 in each.
He lost 2 in each?
He lost 2 in each. He's lost 4.
Wow. Yeah.
6 total. 2 of them recovered. 4 of them lost. Yes.
It's
not great.
That's tough.
It's not great.
No. He's, like you were just saying, got to clean that up. If he does that against Denver, I think Sean Payton's going to do everything he can to avoid what he just watched. You know what I mean? He's not going to let Stidham just go out there and throw the ball 50 times like Stroud, right? He went 20 for 47, Stroud?
Something like that. Yeah, it was bad.
So, I mean, he threw the ball 47 times. He under 50% completion percentage, and he threw the ball to the other team 4 times. You know what I mean?
5.
It was 5?
5.
So, yeah, just awful. I actually heard a stat this week that, if he had spiked the ball every play, he would have had a higher quarterback rating.
Actually, you're right. It is 4. I don't know where the 5th one came from. Maybe it got turned over. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a fumble.
He did fumble 4 times. May did fumble 4 times in this Houston game, so he might actually have 7 in those 2 games with 4 loss. That's crazy.
But yeah, I mean,
20 of 47.
I'm sure the Broncos are watching tape, and unless the Patriots are going to chip or help on that side, I think the Broncos are really going to attack Campbell and try to get over on that left side, because that seems to be where Drake May, they're coming from that backside, his blind side, and just strip sacks. And some of it is, like you said, him holding onto the ball a little too long, but some of it is just he does have that little bit of a wind up, so sometimes when he goes back and those guys just come and swipe down, he's just losing the ball. You know what I mean? But he is still young, and he'll eventually learn to feel that and step up and know that pressure is coming a little quicker than he expects.
Yeah, his clock is just the clock has been too slow for him. He's been trying to hold it for longer and trying to make plays. I think that's pressing. That is a symptom of a young quarterback. And yeah, Campbell's the weak point in the line at this point, because really the entire right side's been good. It's Morgan Moses was the highest graded tackle among all 8 teams that played last Sunday on, for, either left or right. But Morgan Moses, the right tackle, the veteran, he's playing well. The guard that they're paying almost $20 million a year to on Wenhu's playing well. The center's playing well. Even Jared Wilson, the rookie left guard who's supposed to be a center, he's playing well. But Campbell, since he's come back from his injury, has not been very good. This will be a good time for him to figure it out. That won't be easy against a Denver front that's also very good. It may not be quite as good as Houston's, but it's not far off. So, I mean, you're not talking about Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, but like don't sleep on like Nick Bonito or anybody like that.
Yeah, no. I mean, they're definitely the front four is definitely stronger for Houston, but Denver is willing to bring a little more pressure.
Yep. So,
you know what I mean? Because, Houston doesn't blitz as much because they feel they can get there with 4. Denver, on the other hand, they're willing to bring that extra guy. So it'll have to do with, Drake seeing the blitz, sliding protections, and like being able to protect himself against the pressure that they're going to bring.
yeah, it's not going to be an easy one. And again, this is a franchise that's never won in Denver in the playoffs. We'll get to the picks and the predictions later. Now we got to do the NFC stuff, which I know you're going to love. We'll go back to Saturday night, where the 6th seed San Francisco 49ers and my dumb ass picked them to win this game. They roll into Seattle, the 1 seed Seattle Seahawks. First of all, San Francisco already getting screwed on their amount of rest just for this game. And also, the Seahawks are coming off a bye. And this one, you don't ever expect to see a 35-point blowout in the playoffs, but that's what we got, 41-6. Seattle, it would appear to me that at least somewhat the injuries caught up to San Francisco, but I'm not sure they win this game fully healthy either. Seattle's got, I don't know, maybe you're going to tell me otherwise. You can explain what happened here. Three touchdowns on the ground for Kenneth Walker. Sam Darnold only has to put it up 17 times, 124 yards and a touchdown to JSN. And Seattle's goal line back, Zach Charbonnet, tore his ACL, and he's done. So, all right, you can tell the people what happened here.
Not much to tell. They got belt to ass. Like, that's just what happened. Sometimes it does. Seahawks are just, especially with the injuries, they're more athletic, they're faster, they're stronger. They got beat up at the point of attack. They could not do anything to stop the run. Kenneth Walker, almost every carry, it felt like 3, 4, 5 yards before anyone even touched him. The Niners, not that it's an excuse, but they had played 5 games in 26 days, which is essentially 5 days rest between every game, which is kind of absurd at this point in the year with all the injuries they had. And eventually it's going to catch up to you. That's why I picked the Seahawks. I didn't think the Niners had a chance. I'm glad to see the season over, get guys healthy, get guys back. You lost Kittle last week, which I had said, someone was going to get hurt. It's just, as much as I love watching the Niners win football games, sometimes you got to know, like, it's not your year. And props to Shanahan. He did an amazing job with this team. But they really didn't have enough to make a long run.
Didn't Kittle's backup shred his knee in this game?
Yeah, he had a non-contact. I haven't heard if he tore his ACL or not.
Looked like it.
But it was a non-contact injury. He just left the field. And then, then McCaffrey got a stinger in his shoulder, and you were just like, please, get him off the field. Get them off the field.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they moved away from an electrical substation and relocated and stuff, and then they sued somebody or whatever, at least stop practicing. They're over there so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and even if you think, you're a tinfoil hat guy.
No.
How does
frequencies are pretty important. Yeah.
It's real. But even if you don't believe it, move them for a year or two and then see.
Yeah, I think it would make a difference.
Right? Then you have your control study, and then you can say, oh, no, they're fine. And then you fire the strength and conditioning coach because clearly it's on him.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's disproportionate. It's disproportionate.
Since they moved to Levi's in 2014, they have the most injuries, and it's not close. It's not even close.
I think they would have won one of those Super Bowls, or maybe made it.
If I stand by, if Greenlaw didn't tear his Achilles, they win that game.
Which one?
The one they lost in overtime. He tore his Achilles running onto the field in like the first quarter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah. Wow.
So
Yeah.
I stand by if that never happened, they win that game.
Just like I stand by if Malcolm Butler didn't get benched in the Phillies Super Bowl, the Pats would have won that one. But a lot of people have poo-pooed me on that. So maybe it's the same, maybe it's not. It probably isn't. But um, anyway, yeah, phantom injuries, not good, not good for the game. So Niners are done, and mercilessly, they made it probably for certainly made it further than you thought they would. And now they get to set their sights on next season, and they won't have their ace defensive coordinator. So it'll be interesting to see, because what happened last time they lost Robert Saleh was they weren't nearly as good defensively. So we'll see. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. We have one more item to discuss. Who will those Seahawks be facing? And it'll be at home, obviously, because they're the 1 seed in the NFC Championship game. Will it be the Los Angeles Rams, which would still be in St. Louis Rams, the 5 seed? Or will it be the 2 seed Chicago Bears? And, I'm glad that I wasn't really with it for this game, because it was a sloppy dog water fest. I believe it was 10-10, like late into the fourth quarter. And then the Rams take a lead 17-10. And if not for what's one of the most Bush League video game looking plays I've ever seen in my life, this game doesn't get to overtime. This was a miracle, almost fake looking backyard football play where Caleb Williams is running. So first of all, it's 4th and 4. It was not 4th and goal. It was 4th and 4 from the 14-yard line, 14 yards to the end zone for the Bears. And it's the last play of regulation, correct? So
Yes.
Williams is in the shotgun, takes the snap, and he's running around. He's getting chased. It's only a 3-man rush, I believe, by the way. But he's getting chased. He's getting run around. He ends up like 30 yards behind the line of scrimmage or something ridiculous. Because I believe didn't this ball go 51 yards in the air to be a 14-yard completion?
Is that what they tracked it at? He was so far back there, it was crazy.
And he just chucks it up. Like he sets his feet and everything, but he just chucks this ball left corner of the end zone. And by some miracle, I was it his tight end? One of his
Cole Kmet. It was
Cole Kmet, the backup tight end, comes down with it as the Rams defender who is defending him mysteriously runs away from the ball. Almost like he lost it in the lights. You know, in baseball, sometimes the center fielder loses the ball in the lights at night every once in a while. That's what it looked like happened.
4 yards from
But
Kmet.
he ran away to the point where I'm like, this guy must have been betting on a tie or something at the end of the game. You know what I mean? Because when you bet games, if you bet a tie at the end of regulation, you can make some real money. I'm just saying. That's a pro tip for you if you can ever figure out how to predict overtime. So this game goes to overtime. And then Caleb Williams taketh away. Right? So there's an interception in there, and it sets up the Rams for the win. They win 20-17. I kind of like this format of just like ad-libbing and BSing instead of just doing like this. I might run with this from now on. It's more conversational. You guys love that. You don't like actual stats and facts. You people don't like that. You don't have attention spans. Your brains are shriveled. It's okay. I watch you people on the roads every single day. I know who you are. It's fine. The Rams punted 8 times in this game, but didn't turn the ball over. Chicago turned it over 3 times. Rams 20, Bears 17 in overtime. Rams and Seahawks this Sunday at 6:30. Takeaways from this one. Is the Rams defense rounding into shape, or were the Bears just that bad on this night? And there were some elements as well. Because remember,
I was going to say, you definitely got to take the elements into play.
It's only Stafford's second win with the Rams in temperatures below 20 degrees at the start of a game.
Yeah, and he didn't look super sharp either.
No, he didn't.
I will say, like we had mentioned, last week, you needed to see Caleb play a consistent 4 quarters of football. Again, you didn't get that. You know what I mean? I think if he had played consistent ball, if they had like a good balance of run and pass and had been able to move the ball, I think they win this game, because I don't think the Rams played exceptionally well. But when you give the ball to the other team 3 times and we had mentioned earlier in the season, Chicago's defense lived off of turnovers.
They did.
Right? They led the league in turnovers.
That dried
and
up in the playoffs. Yeah, they
you saw in the playoffs how much they struggled when people weren't giving them the ball back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It dried up. Yeah, it did.
So, I think that was the biggest difference in the game is 3 turnovers to none, and you still only lost by 3. But I will say that, Hail Mary at the end of the game was absurd. I don't know how, as a defender, you're not glued to that guy once that ball is in the air.
It's very strange. To your point, Stafford did go just 20 of 42 for 258 yards, scoreless yards. It was Kyron Williams that had 87 and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Williams has 3 interceptions. His first one led to a Rams touchdown. And I believe it was the opening drive of the game for the Bears, too, if I remember looking at it correctly. And
Yes.
Obviously the last one led to the winner in overtime, the field goal. So, yeah, turnovers do matter. The Bears will go -3 here. Let's see. Obviously,
And then just to, for the Bears for the end of their, their season wrap up, I believe I was looking at schedule strengths. They came out this week. I think they have one of the hardest schedules next year too. So you're going to see, they were last place last year, so they played that last place schedule, and now they're going to play a first place schedule. We're going to see where the real balance is for this team.
Yep, we're also going to see the same thing with the Patriots. We're also going to see the same thing with the Jaguars. But you probably weren't going to mention that, but I'll do it for you. So that's it. Stage is set. This coming Sunday, we go to the preview predictions section of the Terranadome. It's moving today, folks. Keeping this thing under an hour. We will do some coaching carousel talk after this, though, because one very interesting interview has come up today.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. It needs to be talked about. But anyway, this Sunday at 3 o'clock. Oh, and by the way, if the Bills were a semi-competent franchise, we would have gotten an AFC Championship game, Josh Allen versus the Patriots in a blizzard in Foxborough. But no, we don't get that. Instead, we get the 2 seed New England Patriots, 4.5-point favorites. I saw that line at 5.5 on Sportsbook Rhode Island this morning. I think that is a trap line to be sure. I am betting someone at my local diner, one of the employee, one of the managers at my local favorite diner this week for the 3rd week in a row. I've gotten him twice in a row. He is taking the Broncos just to cover. They don't need to win, just to cover. New England 4.5-point favorites at the 1 seed Denver Broncos, starting Jarrett Stidham, someone I used to call Jarrett Studham when I was a fan. And I was like, this kid's going to be good, even though he was really never was going to be that good. The over-under just 42.5 points. You go first.
I'm taking the Broncos. Yep, I'm taking the Broncos.
To win?
To win outright. I'm taking the Broncos.
All right, first
like
of all,
defense.
What were the records last week? Because we both went 4-2 in the wild card round. What did we do last week?
Well, I know one guy went 4-0 last week.
Yeah, that would be you, and I went 2-2. So Josh is 8-2, but that's okay. He just picked the wrong team for this one, so I still got a shot to make it up.
Here. I'm going to try to be
still got to make it up.
Here.
Don't pull the mic that close to you. It doesn't sound good.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to be contrarian here and maybe even it out a little. But no, I like the Broncos in this game. I like their defense a lot. Again, like I said last week, that home field advantage is real. And I've watched Jarrett Stidham play against good defenses, and I've watched him play well. I think the biggest thing will be, does Mike Vrabel continue to blitz? In the regular season, the Patriots had a 26.5 blitz percentage. In both playoff games, it has been over 45%, which is a lot. Again, almost a 2-to-1 ratio there of how much you're blitzing. I want to see if he does it against, in my opinion, a better play caller and Sean Payton and a better overall team. They have a better offensive line. They have better skill players. So I wonder if he continues to do that and if Jarrett Stidham is able to handle that and, make the right reads, make the right plays, so on and so forth.
A lot of ifs there, but you're taking the Broncos. Okay. And what's your score since the over-under is 42.5? Not that we're counting that part.
Let's say 24-20.
Yeah, that's cute. All right. So Josh is saying 24 points by the Denver offense. I've got some news. Now, first of all, great point about the blitzing. That's going to continue. And it has to because this quarterback hasn't played a competitive action in over 2 years. But yeah, he's going to walk into the AFC Championship game and win. Okay, fine. You mentioned that the skill position group is better. It's certainly better than Houston's without Nico Collins. I'll give you that because they don't have anything without Nico Collins at this
You don't
point.
think it's better than the Chargers?
It's not better than their top three receivers. No. Sutton's good. Uh, the tight end's done nothing all year. Harvey's okay. Like he's okay. I think he should be better than what he puts up week in and week out.
I think he's a good player, and I think
a
he's
good
better
player.
than he's better than Kimani Vidal.
Sure, he's better than Kamani. They didn't even run the ball in that game, Josh. They didn't. The
They
Chargers
didn't
didn't
have
run.
Hampton.
The Chargers
They
didn't
didn't
run the
have
ball,
Hampton.
but they didn't even bother. Herbert ran the ball 11 times. They didn't even bother with Vidal. By the way, Vidal had like 4 100-yard games during the season. They didn't even bother. So I thought that was
Against
terrible.
who? The Raiders.
It doesn't matter. He had 400-yard games, and they didn't even try to use him. If they did, who knows? I don't know. But
Well, that's because Greg Roman's an idiot.
I was going to say, who's the offensive coordinator? You know,
Greg Roman.
Did he get fired? He got fired. Mike McDaniel's supposed to take that job. But then Schefter said this morning that McDaniel's still going to interview for the Bills job, and I thought that was weird too. But I think that's happened before. I don't love the Broncos skill position guys. If Franklin plays, I like him. He had a good chemistry with Bo Nix. Here's another thing though. I think the best thing for the Pats to do, by the way, obviously I'm picking the Patriots at this point. I'm not going to pick against the Patriots, and they've gotten this far, and now they're facing a backup quarterback. They're going into Denver. They're going to win for the first time in playoffs ever. Don't ask me about next week or 2 weeks from now. They're winning this game. But we don't know what kind of rapport Stidham had. And I'm sure he's getting all the first team reps all this weekend. That's all good. That's fine and fun. You know what I mean? Their best bet, which they haven't really been able to do in either of the first 2 rounds, and I'm talking about the Patriots, they got to jump on him early. You want this kid to have to play from behind. Then you can do your pass rush. You can do all that cute stuff and sending extra people, sending corners, sending safeties. You can do that kind of stuff. But you got to get ahead. And yeah, I'll give you this much. If the Patriots lose the turnover battle, they probably lose this game. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. I'm not telling you it's going to be a blowout. I'm not even telling you they're going to win by 10. 6-7 point win. To me, Pats, low scoring, obviously. I don't know, 23-17, something like that. 23-17, 23-17. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I heard a certain one of the 3 co-hosts on the EEI afternoon radio show, I believe he said 38-13 Pats. And I'm like, well, how is it that I can't get a job on Boston radio, but this Bobo can? So I'm being a bit of a homer. I'm being a bit of a honk. The Patriots are better aligned. They have a better skill position group. They got the better quarterback. That's not a debate. The defense hasn't played really much competition here in the playoffs even. But the defense is playing really, really well. You will create more opportunities if you turn them over. If you can get to Stidham, he's going to turn the ball over. He's got one of the highest out of any quarterback that's thrown like 150 passes since he was drafted. He's like 90th out of 102 in terms of turnover rate. So you can turn the kid over. I just can't pick against him. Yes, Denver, probably the biggest home field advantage in the game. Maybe them, maybe Seattle, but you've got that elevation in Denver. And by the way, I don't like the fact that the Patriots are not flying out until tomorrow. They should have gone out there on like Thursday and got acclimated as best they could. I don't agree with that. But I'm still sticking with my boys.
Yeah, that's surprising.
I would have gone out, even if it's on Friday morning, I would have went out there. But and now you're going to try to fly across country, and there's apparently the biggest storm ever. By the way, oh wait, no, we can't do this. We can't do this during recording. I'll talk about it after. But I looked up at the sky today and I saw something I haven't seen ever in sunny conditions. But past 23-17 to me. So we are in disagreement, and I think we will be on the next one too, to be completely honest. But we are in disagreement. Josh was 8-2 so far in his picks coming into this one, and a golf clap to him for going 4-0 last week. I should have never doubted the 49ers were going to lose that game. I was sure that Buffalo was going to beat Denver.
You were very sure.
I was very sure we were getting that setup that we should have gotten, but regardless, um, and yeah, I'm 6-4, 6-4. So here we go. Rams at Seahawks. I've done a ton of talking over the last 6 minutes or so, so you can go. Oh, by the way, 5-seeded Rams at 1-seed Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks are 2.5-point favorites at home. It's an over-under of 46.5. Josh, you know these two teams extremely well. What do you think?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Let's go.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. My mic just like went off for a second.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm actually picking the Rams.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I do think the Seahawks are arguably the best team in football right now. But it's interesting. I was looking at some of the stats that they've been throwing out over the past week. These teams in their 2 games have been so evenly matched, it's unreal. So I'm really going to go with the experience. I'm going to go with McVay, Stafford. I think their outside receivers are much better than the 49ers. I think they match up better against the Seahawks secondary. Their offensive line is better than the 49ers. I think it is going to be a slog. It's not going to be like that one in LA where it was 38-37 or whatever it was. I think it's going to be like the first time they played in Seattle, where it was tough sledding for both teams. I don't know if Darnold throws 4 picks this time, but I do believe that the Rams have just a little more at the skill positions to be able to squeak out a win here. I'm going to say 2017 Rams.
Okay, now I find the point prediction interesting. The 4 interception game from Darnold was in LA.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
They were in Seattle.
When they still had a chance to win the game at the end, I could have swore they were in a dome in that game.
No,
That's
game
fine.
where they put up all those points on Thursday night.
That was in LA, and they went for it. They went for 2 at the end, right? You got it. Yep, that did end up being 38-37, that game. That might have been the best game of the year. Seattle might have been involved.
That was an awesome game.
That Seattle might have been involved in the best 2 games of the year. They also had that one against the Bucs in like week 4 where it was 38-35. That was a great game.
With another Darnold interception.
Yeah, with a Darnold interception that really sealed that game. At that point, we were talking about Baker playing at MVP level and all that stuff, and then things change in a hurry. Now he's trolling Kevin Stefanski on Twitter, but he can't even make the playoffs. So that's okay. Cool thing. Cool Baker. Sort of taking the wind out of my sails here, but only because I expected you to pick the Seahawks. But I'm also going LA Rams here for a lot of the same reasons. I do think it'll be higher scoring, though. And yeah, the Seattle home field does play a lot into how good their defense is. And they also lost their goal line back, but I really think that Kenneth Walker has the capability to be a 3-down back. I've kind of always thought that. Like he's not big, but he's big enough. They've done a good job of splitting carries all season, so he's still going to be relatively fresh, even though he had 19 carries last week. But as you said, not a lot of resistance last week. It was 19 for 116 yards. That's over 5 yards a pop, so it's not like there was a ton of resistance there for him. I think it'd be a little bit more high scoring, but a lot of the reasons you said, experience matters in these situations. We're still waiting for Darnold to piss his pants in a big game. It hasn't happened yet. Also, really hasn't had to do that much. Now, granted,
17 throws,
yeah, it was 12 out of 17. Yeah, he didn't have to do that much. So if they can somehow blow out the Rams, they can't. That's not going to happen. They cannot. They're not going to do what they did to the 49ers. That won't happen. Like you just said, Rams match up much better on the outside. That's going to give their corners problems. Stafford's going to play better. I don't know how much warmer it's going to be in Seattle this weekend. It'll certainly be warmer than the Windy City last weekend. And Seattle also going to be one of the only places in the country that's not getting snow or ice at this weekend as well. So yeah, for a lot of the reasons you just said, I think the Rams will be able to do a decent enough job of controlling the clock. I think that coaching matchup definitely goes to the Rams. Seattle's time is coming, but I don't think it's this year. Give me the Rams 27-23. 27-23, comfortably over, and obviously they would cover. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good championship Sunday. Looking forward to it. And that is our prediction segment. We have got just 3 games left in the playoffs, folks. So we've got a little bit. I know. This has gone on for quite some time. I don't want to spend a ton of time on the coaching carousel, especially when we've still got half of the positions to be filled. But let's get into the coaching carousel a little bit. Who sits in their bathroom and just I got the hole up there and I can hear. Why don't you go sit in your living room? I don't know. But yeah, maybe he's taking a big Duke. But so we had 10 openings. I don't know if we had 10 openings at the same time. I'm not sure, but we've had 10 total firings of coaches. Well, we had 9 firings and a resignation. I've heard a juicy rumor about why Tomlin actually resigned, by the way.
Yeah,
this
isn't this talking about the.
Yeah, I am, but this ain't TMZ, so I don't know if I really want to go that route. Plus we're gonna spend too much time on it if we do, but it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yes.
But anyway, so at one point we had 10 head coaching jobs, which, by the way, apparently this happened in 2022 as well. I remember saying, I can't remember the last time this happened. Well, it was 3 years ago, or after the 2022 season.
Isn't that just an indictment on the NFL?
It is, and it's this inability. It's impatience by general managers and owners. It's this instant gratification world that we lived in and we've been ramping up to so much over the past 10 or 15 years that this is what you get now. So we've already, all right, let me try and name them all. 10 jobs that have been open and 5 have been filled. So Baltimore, Buffalo now, Miami, Atlanta. I'm already struggling here. Atlanta, Cleveland, the Raiders. So that's
Tennessee.
6. Tennessee is 7. Crap. Who else? Come on now. There's 3 left. Pittsburgh. Tomlin steps down in Pittsburgh. That's 8. Not Dallas. No. The Giants is 9.
Giants.
And there's one more. The Cardinals. So that's 10. 10 jobs. 5 of them have been filled. We mentioned the Steelers and the Ravens. Both. Tomlin steps down under some circumstances that we could talk about on the off-air show if we had one, but I'm not going to talk about it here. But that job is still open. I believe that Brian Flores would be a great fit there.
He'd be a great fit anywhere, man. He is such a good coach.
I don't understand the blackballing. It's been long enough now, but then you have Harbaugh, who gets canned from Baltimore. He goes and takes the Giants job that was vacated by Brian Daboll earlier in the season. Then your guy Robert Saleh leaves the 49ers defensive coordinator job. He takes the Tennessee job at a weird hour for 5 years. He was 20 and 36 as the Jets head coach. I still think he got blown out of there because of Aaron Rodgers, though. So he might do better this time around. He's probably going to have to, or he's going to be.
Yeah, and hopefully they give him a year. Like the guy they just hired for Tennessee, they fired immediately.
Yeah, well, I think the owner, the woman that's running operations over there, is very impatient. Look what she did to Mike Vrabel. Thank you for that again.
I mean, if you expect this guy, and that's another thing, we talked about the instant gratification. All these teams are now going from worst to first.
Yeah, it doesn't help anything.
So owners see that and they're like, well, why couldn't you do that?
Yep. Kevin Stefanski gets fired from the Browns after 6 seasons. Then he takes the Atlanta job. So there's that.
Feels like a lot of coach trading, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it's just a lot of retreading. Um, the Miami Dolphins hire Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, former Boston College Eagles head coach Jeff Hafley, who I found out slept in his car for 2 years when he was an assistant at West Virginia or Cal, I forget. And then there's one more, and I would have gotten that eventually, but AJ Minter, Chargers defensive coordinator, replaces John Harbaugh in Baltimore. That may be a good move for them.
Yeah.
But it's a defensive-minded guy with Lamar Jackson, so I don't know. I'm still not convinced that Lamar Jackson isn't a massive problem for Baltimore, but we'll get into that again next year
If
when
you can't stay on the field, you are.
Yep. And that's another story for another day, of course. But so you still have 5 openings and plenty of candidates of, Buffalo, Vegas, Arizona, Pittsburgh, and there's one more opening.
Did you mention Buffalo?
I just mentioned Buffalo, and Cleveland is the other one. It's not hired a coach.
That one will be the last one filled.
Probably.
That will be the last one filled.
Yeah, because the Raiders have the number 1 pick in the draft, and they've got Brady as part owner, and they've got skill position players on that team. Cleveland needs a quarterback because Shadur Sanders isn't your answer. That'll be the last one. But one interesting one, I don't want to speculate too much on where people might go. First of all, Mike Tomlin stepping down. He's clearly taking a year off from coaching, or he wouldn't have stepped down. He's not going anywhere next season. But I found out today, the good old Shefty tweet, that the Buffalo Bills are interviewing former Indianapolis Colts quarterback Phillip Rivers to be their head coach.
My buddy texted our group today. He said, that man needs insurance.
He needs insurance for them 10 kids. You got to keep getting that bread for them 10 kids. But man, he's going to jump from high school coach, comes back and moonlights for 3 games, looks pretty solid doing it for 2 of them. And now he's got a shot to be a head coach in the league. I mean, talk about a trajectory for this guy. I mean, I hope he gets it. Personally, I hope he gets it. As a Patriots fan, I kind of hope he gets it. No, really, I do. It would be it was fascinating. Fascinating stuff.
And then on the Steelers front, because we were just talking about him, I'm sure you've seen the rumblings about Mike McCarthy going in there if they want to retain Rodgers.
Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, so
did they interview him yet? Who's he interviewed with?
I believe he just interviewed with the Steelers. I don't know if he interviewed with anyone else. I thought he might have interviewed with another team, but supposedly, from what I've heard from, I think it might have been Schefter or someone else, said the only way Rodgers said he would consider coming back was if it was McCarthy.
Well, yeah, after Tomlin stepped down, because he obviously loved playing for Tomlin for all the inside reports of meeting rooms. So that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, considering Rodgers limped you into the playoffs and those last 2 games of the regular season, they didn't even have their best receiver. It's just going to be another year of no man's land for the Steelers if they do that.
And do we think McCarthy is as good as a coach as Tomlin to bring a team like that to the playoffs?
Right, because as I mentioned, I think pretty accurately and a fairly good observation on my part, if I do say so myself. The last 3 seasons, the quarterbacks that Tomlin has had to deal with, the fact that they've gotten 10 wins each of the last 3 seasons is nothing short of impressive. Can McCarthy coax another 3 to 4 wins out of a team that's really a 6 or 7 win team? At this point in his career, I'm not so sure. So
yeah, you look at those Cowboys teams he had, they were not devoid of skill.
No, not at all. They were some of the best offensive teams you've seen in the last 10 years.
And he couldn't do anything with them.
Couldn't win in the playoffs, no. So, I don't know. We'll see. A lot of retreads, but Josh, I think that's about it. would like to sit back and get ready for these games on Sunday. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume you're not going to be doing much after Sunday morning. I am going to be working, but that's okay. I'm going to be just doing just fine coming out of that deal. So nobody needs to worry about me. I'll be safe and sound. I'll get my boots and I'll go clear off the satellite dishes if I have to, but I'll be fine. We have a generator. It's full. So I'll be fine. Nobody need worry about me. Not that anybody was, but yeah, we will be back. I don't know. I'd like to do it earlier in the week, next week, but we'll see. And we'll get into some Bruins and Celtics stuff that we haven't really touched. The team that you're wearing a bunch of Celtic stuff. Yeah,
I forgot they played.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, everybody wants football on this show.
I wasn't blaming you. I was blaming the fans. I was blaming the fans there.
Sure, blame the fans. But yeah, we'll do a little bit of that next week. Obviously, we'll talk about these two games coming up here on Sunday. We might not do much Super Bowl prediction. We might have to bite our tongues on that because we're going to spend the following week's show talking about Super Bowl predictions.
I agree. You don't want to overdo it.
Don't want to oversaturate. I'm not a daily talk show. I don't have to talk about the Super Bowl for 2 weeks straight. That is not an easy assignment. Trust me when I tell you, because I listen to, even if it's only in the car for 10 minutes a day, I listen to sports talk radio all the time. It's really all they've talked about for the most part for these past couple of weeks, right? And you can tell it's hard for them to do. So, you take the same call 100 times from 35 different listeners. You know what I mean? So, we will be back, folks. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Thursday, maybe Wednesday even. I don't know. But it's the Terranadome. He's Josh Morris. He's kind enough to join me on the show each and every week during the playoffs. Tell somebody you love them today because tomorrow is not promised. Life's too short, folks. Don't beef with the people you love. Tell somebody you love them today because tomorrow is not promised. That's not a shot across the bow. I will see you back here next week. Enjoy the games. And if you are one of the millions
and millions.
That was unprompted. That was good. If you are in the zone of this either icy crap or the blanket of snow we're supposed to get here in the States, be safe this weekend. Don't go out. It's just like driving into flood water. Turn around. Don't drown. If you ain't got to go outside, don't endanger everybody else. Mind the plows. Get the hell out of the way. Especially you people in the southeastern United States that can't drive.
I got four-wheel drive.
Yeah, don't drive in the snow. You don't know how to do it. Okay? Anybody, tell somebody you love them today because tomorrow is not promised. See you next week. It's the Terranadome. We appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Peace.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Cause they love him in London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry is so prestigious. Wave your